What if I told you that one of the most common cancers in men often develops silently, with no clear symptoms until it's too late? That's the reality of prostate cancer, and today we're going to uncover the hidden causes every man over 60 needs to know. Age is the biggest factor. As men grow older, the risk increases sharply. But it's not just about age. If your father, brother, or uncle had prostate cancer, your own chances are higher too. Race also plays a role. Studies show that African American men tend to develop more aggressive forms, often at a younger age. Lifestyle matters just as much. Diets rich in processed foods, lack of physical activity, smoking, or carrying extra weight can all raise your risk. On the other hand, eating more vegetables, exercising, and keeping a healthy weight can help protect your prostate. Hormones and chronic inflammation also contribute, creating conditions where abnormal cells may grow. The bottom line is this: you can't change your age or your family history, but you can take action today with healthy habits and regular checkups. Early knowledge and prevention can make all the difference. Hi, I'm Dr. Gunter, a urologist with over 15 years of experience treating men with prostate conditions. Over the years, I've seen how powerful early knowledge can be. It truly saves lives. But I've also witnessed how late diagnosis can completely change a man's future. That's why today I want to share the real factors that cause prostate cancer, explained in a way that's clear, practical, and can help you take steps to protect yourself. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 5 biggest causes of prostate cancer. Some you can control and some you can't. And number 5 is the one most men never think about. But it's critical if you want to stay healthy. So make sure you stay with me until the end. And while you're here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss important updates about men's health. Sharing this video with a friend or family member could make a real difference for them too. Cause #1, age. Age is the single strongest risk factor for prostate cancer. The numbers are very clear. If you're over 50, your risk begins to climb rapidly. By the time men reach 65, prostate cancer becomes far more common. That doesn't mean every man will develop it, but statistically, age itself is the foundation on which other risk factors are built. Why is that? As men get older, the cells in the prostate, just like cells in the rest of the body, go through more cycles of growth and repair. Over decades, tiny changes can accumulate in the DNA of these cells. Most of the time, the body repairs that damage. But as we age, the repair process is not as perfect as it once was. A small mistake that might have been corrected in your 30s or 40s could slip through in your 60s or 70s. Over years, those changes can add up, and that's how abnormal cells begin to grow. Think of it like maintaining a house. When the house is brand new, the paint is fresh, the roof is tight, and the plumbing is perfect. Over time, little cracks form, the roof shingles wear down, the pipes rust. If you keep checking and repairing, the house stays strong. But if you ignore it, problems can grow bigger and eventually you face serious damage. Your prostate is the same. Age doesn't guarantee cancer, but it does make the house more vulnerable. This is why age is not just a number, it's a signal. Once you cross 50, you need to pay closer attention. That doesn't mean living in fear. It means being proactive. Regular checkups, discussions with your doctor, and knowing your personal risk factors can make all the difference. I've had patients in their early 60s who caught prostate cancer early, simply because they stayed alert and didn't brush off changes in their health. They went through treatment and today they're living active, healthy lives. On the other hand, I've also seen men who ignored the warning signs because they thought it was just aging. By the time they were diagnosed, the disease was much harder to manage. So here's the bottom line: you can't control your age. None of us can, but you can control how closely you monitor your health as you get older. Think of age as a reminder to stay one step ahead. A healthy lifestyle, regular screenings, and open conversations with your healthcare provider are powerful tools. The earlier you act, the better your chances of protecting your health, your independence, and your quality of life for years to come. Cause #2, family history and genetics. If age is the #1 risk factor for prostate cancer, family history comes in a close second. Simply put, if a man in your family, your father, brother, or even an uncle has had prostate cancer, your own chances of developing it are significantly higher. In fact, research shows that having a first-degree relative with prostate cancer can double your risk. If you have 2 or more relatives affected, your risk climbs even higher. Why does family history matter so much? The answer lies in genetics. Each of us inherits a set of instructions from our parents. Sometimes hidden within those instructions are small variations that make certain diseases more likely. For prostate cancer, specific genes such as BRCA1 and BRCA2, the same ones linked to breast and ovarian cancer, can also increase risk in men. Another gene, HOXP13, has been identified as a contributor as well. But family history isn't only about genes. It can also reflect shared environments and habits. Families often eat the same foods, live in the same region, and follow similar lifestyles. That means a family risk can be partly genetic and partly environmental. For example, if a father and son both consume diets high in processed foods or lead sedentary lives, those factors compound the inherited risk. Here's an example I've seen in practice. A 58-year-old man came to see me because his brother had been diagnosed with prostate cancer at 62. He himself felt healthy and had no symptoms, but because of his family history, he chose to get screened. The test revealed an early-stage tumor that could be treated right away. That decision probably added decades of healthy life. Contrast that with another patient who ignored his family risk, thinking, "That was my dad, not me." By the time he was checked, the disease was much harder to control. So what should you do if prostate cancer runs in your family? The first step is awareness. Talk openly about family health history. It's not always an easy conversation, but it's a vital one. If you know a relative has had prostate cancer, let your doctor know. You may need to start screening earlier, sometimes as early as age 40 or 45, depending on your background. Remember, you can't change the genes you were born with, but you can change how you respond to that information. Knowledge is power. Family history doesn't mean prostate cancer is inevitable, but it does mean you should stay alert, take preventive steps, and never ignore the opportunity for early detection. Cause #3, race and ethnicity. Race and ethnicity are powerful factors when it comes to prostate cancer risk. Statistics consistently show that African American men are more likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer compared to men of other backgrounds. Not only that, but the disease often appears at a younger age and tends to be more aggressive. In fact, African American men are about twice as likely to die from prostate cancer as white men. Why is this the case? The reasons are complex and not fully understood. Part of it is genetic. Research has identified certain inherited traits that may increase the likelihood of developing prostate cancer or of having it progress more quickly. But genes are not the whole story. Social and environmental factors also play an important role. For example, access to healthcare can make a huge difference. In some communities, men may be less likely to get regular checkups, screenings, or follow-up care. By the time the disease is found, it may already be at an advanced stage. Diet, stress, and lifestyle patterns also vary among different ethnic groups and can influence risk. Even cultural attitudes like reluctance to talk openly about health concerns can contribute to delays in diagnosis. I remember meeting an African American patient in his early 50s who came in only because his friend insisted. He had no symptoms at all, but his screening test revealed prostate cancer that required immediate attention. Because it was caught early, treatment was possible, and his outlook was very good. The key here wasn't luck, it was awareness and taking action before symptoms appeared. It's not just African American men who face unique risks. Men of Caribbean ancestry, especially those of African descent, also show higher rates. Meanwhile, men of Asian and Hispanic backgrounds generally have lower risk, though they are by no means immune. Living in Western countries with diets higher in fat and processed food can raise the risk for these groups as well. So, what's the takeaway? Your background matters. If you are an African American man or if your family roots trace back to regions with higher risk, you should talk to your doctor about beginning screenings earlier, sometimes around age 40 or 45 instead of waiting until 50 or 55. Knowledge and preparation are your best defense. The important message is this: race and ethnicity can raise your risk, but they do not determine your future. Being proactive with screening, staying informed, and leading a healthy lifestyle can make a powerful difference in outcomes. Cause #4, lifestyle factors. When it comes to prostate cancer, lifestyle is one of the most powerful risk factors that you actually can control. Unlike age or family history, the way you eat, move, and live each day directly shapes your long-term health. Research shows that diets high in processed meats, fried foods, and saturated fats may increase the risk of prostate cancer, while diets rich in vegetables, fruits, and whole grains may help protect against it. Obesity is another key factor. Carrying extra weight, especially around the waistline, has been linked not only to higher risk of developing prostate cancer, but also to more aggressive forms of the disease. Fat tissue changes how hormones like testosterone and estrogen circulate in the body, and this hormonal imbalance can create an environment where cancer cells grow more easily. Smoking is a risk that goes beyond lung health. Studies have shown that men who smoke have a higher chance of dying from prostate cancer compared to non-smokers. Smoking contributes to inflammation, damages blood vessels, and reduces the body's ability to fight abnormal cell growth. Quitting smoking at any age can lower your risk and improve overall health. Physical inactivity is another silent threat. The prostate, like every organ, benefits from good circulation and balanced hormone levels. Exercise, both aerobic activities like walking or cycling and resistance training like lifting weights, supports heart health, helps maintain healthy weight, and boosts testosterone levels naturally. Even small steps like walking 20 minutes a day can make a real difference over time. I've seen patients who transform their outlook simply by changing daily habits. One man in his late 50s came to me overweight and inactive, with rising prostate-specific antigen (PSA) levels. He committed to eating more vegetables, cutting back on processed foods, and walking every morning. Over 2 years, he lost weight, his PSA stabilized, and his energy returned. While lifestyle change can't guarantee prevention, it clearly supports better outcomes. The bottom line is this: lifestyle choices are powerful. They can either add fuel to the fire or help keep your body resilient. Choosing balanced meals, keeping active, avoiding smoking, and limiting alcohol are simple steps that protect not just your prostate but your entire body. You don't need to overhaul everything overnight. Start small, stay consistent, and remember, the habits you build today will shape your health for the decades ahead. Cause #5. Hormones and inflammation. Hormones are chemical messengers that guide how our bodies function, and they also play a key role in prostate health. Testosterone, the main male hormone, naturally declines with age. But when hormone levels become imbalanced, either too high, too low, or disrupted by other factors, the prostate can be affected. Some studies suggest that abnormal hormone activity may encourage the growth of prostate cells, and in certain cases, this can lead to cancer. Inflammation is another piece of the puzzle. Chronic inflammation happens when the body stays in a state of low-grade irritation for long periods of time. This can be caused by infections, repeated injury, or lifestyle factors such as poor diet, smoking, or obesity. When inflammation lingers in the prostate, it may damage healthy tissue and make it easier for abnormal cells to form and multiply. Think of it this way: if you scrape your skin, it heals quickly because the inflammation is temporary. But if you keep scratching the same spot every day, the wound may not heal properly and scar tissue develops. In the prostate, chronic inflammation can create a similar cycle: constant irritation that sets the stage for long-term problems. Environmental exposures also matter. Certain chemicals or toxins, like those found in pesticides or industrial pollutants, may interfere with hormone function or promote inflammation. While you can't always control exposure completely, being mindful about your environment and reducing unnecessary contact with harmful substances is an important step. In my practice, I've seen men who ignored ongoing urinary discomfort, assuming it was just aging. In some cases, that inflammation was an early warning sign of a deeper issue. By the time they sought help, the condition had advanced. On the other hand, men who came in early, got evaluated, and managed their inflammation often avoided serious complications. The key takeaway is this: hormones and inflammation are hidden risks that most men don't think about. You can't always feel them, but they silently influence your prostate health every single day. The good news is you can take action, maintain a healthy weight, eat anti-inflammatory foods like leafy greens and berries, exercise regularly, avoid smoking, and get medical advice if you notice persistent changes. These steps help keep your hormones balanced and inflammation under control. Remember, you may not be able to control every factor, but paying attention to hormones and inflammation can give you a real advantage in protecting your prostate and your overall well-being. So remember this: age, family history, race, lifestyle, and hormones all play a role in prostate cancer. Some of these you cannot change, like your age or your genes, but others are fully in your control. You can choose what you eat, how active you stay, whether you avoid smoking or excess alcohol, and most importantly, how early you get checked. Regular checkups don't just find problems, they often catch them when they are still highly treatable. The truth is, prostate cancer found in its earliest stages can usually be managed very effectively, often with much less impact on your daily life. But waiting too long, ignoring symptoms, or avoiding screening out of fear can make the difference between a simple treatment and a life-changing diagnosis. Taking action today is not about fear, it's about protecting your health, your independence, and your future. Knowledge and prevention are powerful tools, and they are in your hands. If this video helped you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Only a small percentage of men who watch actually subscribe. And yet it's the simplest way to stay updated with information that could truly make a difference for your health every single week. By subscribing, you'll never miss the latest tips on how to protect your prostate, your vitality, and your overall well-being. And don't just keep this to yourself. Share this video with a brother, a father, or a friend, because you never know who might need this information right now. Sometimes one small decision, like clicking play on the right video, can completely change someone's future. Together we can spread awareness, encourage early checkups, and help men around the world live healthier, stronger, and longer lives. So take a moment, subscribe, share, and be part of a community that values knowledge, prevention, and health.